Hey guys, Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Today's video is going to look at the new FEH channel, which I guess wasn't a surprise, or is a surprise. Its timing is awkward compared to previous months. So yeah, I'm going to go over it. I'm going to give you guys my impression on it, and what I'm probably most looking forward to, what you could probably be most looking forward to. So yeah, I'll pause at different parts of the video and give you my take on those things. So let's do it.
Let the lesson begin.
All right, it's FEH time. Flappy flap. All right, hello summoners, let's go. Come on, we got some hearts, cool. FEH channel, April 25th. Okay, we got the Golden Week stuff as we expected because it was data mined. Let's see what we get. So first up is a bunch of flowers, Sigurd coins and grails. It seems like this has become like the norm, but the thing that is weird here is that there's no orbs. And I think I know why, because they're going to supplement that with tickets, which we'll see in just a moment. Grails are always nice, and flowers are definitely very important now because I think they'll probably raise the cap every single year. And because of that, you kind of always want to be careful using your flowers. If you play Arena Salt enough, coins are not really that important, but if you're like a newer player, that's really good. So yeah, we did confirm that the CYL Hero Fest are coming back, and we get actually 24 summons, I think, on all of them combined, which is insane. It mentions the tickets here somewhere. There they are. So 1 free summon on all of them plus 5 tickets. Personally, I'm going to be looking to probably get Lancina from the first one. Those of you that use Bike is really good. And if you follow me, you know that Bravelyn is also still really good, but only if you have the really good fodder for it. So she's like one of the few users who has like a wind sweep effect in her B skill without having to sacrifice her double. So I still think those 3 are different picks for you guys depending on who you are. Braveroy is probably the weakest of the options here. On the second Hero Fest, if you don't have Vector, you probably should get Vector, because that'll just make your AR life a lot easier. But all of these are good in their own way. All these picks are good. In terms of fodder, probably Ephraim for Special Fighter or Deathblow 4 from Celica are the best here. In CYL 3, we don't really know who's going to get a Refine, who's going to become really good here, but if I was to take a guess, I would say that Alm probably ends up being the best carry of this batch, if he gets like a distant counter Refine or something in his weapon. I totally could see that happening. Elwood could probably be very good on AR defense, depending on what they do with him. And then I expect Micaiah and Camilla to be kind of wild cards. They'll probably have really good Refines, but no way to tell you, what could happen, because they could go either the way of carry or some crazy AR defense mechanics that could just change the game completely. If anything, if you want to play it safe, the best fodder option here is Elwood for the Rally Plus. Or Micaiah for ground orders. And finally, CYL 4. I don't think this really needs an introduction, but Edelgard is the one that aged the best out of these 4, no doubt. Claude is okay as long as he doesn't play into Fatal Smoke. And Dimitri and Lysithea are just way too much of a niche pick. They'll probably wait until Refines before they're pretty good. If anything, I'd say picking up Brave Edelgard if she's a merge project. This would be a good time to maybe try to get as many copies as you can, and yeah, that'll be really helpful for you to get score increases. But that's a lot of free summons. Most people should get at least one of something, hopefully. For me, Lancina is my goal here. Elwood for the Rally Plus, maybe some Vector copies, and I think I'll try to pick up Claude. But this is all random. I might not get anything. In fact, most of the time I don't get anything. We have, I think, a Twitter event for orbs and codes. Codes are always good. I really like to see codes as often as possible because the new code paths are very, very good in terms of fodder. Can't get enough of those. This is obviously the first silhouette because that's Fenix. Next up is revealing Legendary Sigurd. So Legendary Sigurd is a win season legendary, and he should be scoring like a 190 due to a preference B skill, 185 in the text, but the preference B would bring him up to 190. He is very stacked in terms of skills. We see his stats right here, 60, 18, 39, 30. Kind of expected, similar. Oh no, that's Seliph. What? That's a bait. That's a bait. It's pretty similar to that though. Let's find where Sigurd was. It's revealed here. That's Leaf. Wow, I just got baited, chat. I really just got baited. Here? There it is. All right. 57, 23, 37, 26. It is pretty similar to Seliph, but lower res and higher speed. So probably you can like actually make use of his speed, which is cool. And you can see in the B slot he has Crusader's Ward just because he had it before. But now he has a preference special, has Fatal Smoke, looks like a attack, defense, catch, and his own version of turfing, which as we'll see in a moment is really good. I'm going to do like a full extensive analysis of Sigurd in its own video once we reveal the legendary banner, so I can also touch on legendary banner then, and then compare him to the other legendaries, but this video won't feature that. This is more like FEH channel. If anything, he's probably a very, very, very good win legendary because he has supportive nature in his Holy Knight aura, which always gives him basically 1 extra movement, which is crazy good on its own. But if he does enter combat and uses this special, then he'll end up getting 1 extra movement to everyone, and including a 6 attack buff. So that's crazy good. I mean, having some sort of utility in a legendary is already really good. If you are completely focused on combat, that doesn't really age that well. His turfing is slaying. As long as the enemy is over 75% health, he gets some stats, he gets damage reduction, and he basically always has a 40% damage reduction on the first hit by 40%. The second hit and the further hits on range units, as we know from Crusader's Ward, should also minimize damage quite a bit. He's very tanky, that's to be expected. His damage reduction implies that George and Innis and such are going to be the counters to him. But I'm going to do a more extensive analysis on him when we get the Legendary Banner trailer. Look forward to that, of course. Okay, so next up we got the reveal of the Remixed Heroes for next month's update, or ones that are getting buffs, I guess. So again, this was predicted, no surprise here. Or maybe Ephraim not being here is kind of weird, but maybe if anyone needed it really badly, it was Ryoma, let's be honest. So Ryoma gets to remove his flying weakness. That's really good. That is extremely good for him. He just does a flat extra 7 damage. That's like true damage. That's super strong for him because he should basically always be doubling because of his speed stats. So that's like 14 extra damage. And then he gets damage reduction off of speed scaling. Plus, now he gets attack speed Ryan for free on his C skill. I feel like this actually makes him pretty good now. Like, very usable. And the reason for that is now you can pretty much run like Ruptured Sky or potentially Blue Flame, and you can beat Chrom. Like, he can beat Legendary Chrom if you are, let's say, giving him somebody besides that, just stacking like attack and speed, because now he doesn't really have weakness to flying, and that's really key, and he'll have damage reduction against Chrom. So he might not kill, but the true damage will help, and possibly a really good special to push through. I could see it happening. It's still going to be a very difficult matchup, but before there was no chance. As for Dimitri, it's going to be like a speed battle there, and honestly, it's not really favored for Ryoma at all. I don't think he'll be able to just tank the true damage and such. But the damage reduction he does have if he beats Dimitri would help him. Either way, he went from literally bottom to probably pretty good now if you're a Ryoma user. So well done. Good change to make him viable, really. Next up is Gunthra. And Gunthra gets attack res solo instead of fort defense res, so an upgrade. That's interesting, but that's still really good for her. Her Chilling Seal gets a massive upgrade if you consider what her weapon does, which is the Blizzard, and that's like a broadleaf weapon. So she just inflicts -7 to all stats to the lowest defense unit on the enemy team. It is literally buffing her own attack by 28 or something, just like that, just by. And additionally, the Chilling Seal 2 secondary effect reduces attack and res for basically enemy units that are close by that lowest defense unit. She is going to be very good supportively, and if there is G-Dual Cavalry 4, I could see her becoming a very viable, very good wind legendary, like no doubt. Considering she has a preference B skill, this would already bump her into the 180 scoring as a range cavalry, that would make her one of the best legendaries, just in terms of scoring and utility alone. It go from like the bottom to the top easily. So these are some great changes, if you ask me, to legendaries. I feel like Ike and Fjorms, now that we've seen them, are a little bit underwhelming, but they did a lot better with Gunthra. and Ryoma, honestly, to make them where they are. So that's on the next update. We'll probably talk about it again once we see the update notifs. We get a new style, I guess. That's interesting. I guess if you like that. Yeah, okay. And now you can change your weapon. So it's not just colorless tome. You now have the option of sword, lance, axe, and any other colors. So I guess we'll stick to colorless. I mean, it's Mjolnir Strike. You don't really get much out of it. We get some quests for more codes. As I said before, I'm totally into that. We could get as many codes as we want. Get to style, and probably the biggest change of the update notification is a reserve barracks. All right, so this is probably a moment where I'm gonna have to say I told you so, and guys, like, if you've been spending any orbs on your barracks increase, this is gonna hurt, because if you spent even, like, let's say 100 if you spent for 100 extra spaces, that'd be like 20 orbs. If you spent for 220 orbs, you see how this adds up now. And now the reserve barracks will completely eliminate the point of expanding your barracks at all, because now it essentially gives you 1,000 extra spaces. And at that point, I'm pretty much going to be sorting IVs of different multiple 3 to 4 star units. All my GHBs are going to be in here. All my like 3 and 4 star units, until they need to be a bonus unit come out of this. You know, characters that don't have refines, you can carry multiple IVs. And then as soon as they get the refine, they're like, that IV is the best. And boom, you're just going to bring it out of the reserve and, you know, build it if you want to. A great, much needed change. Like, this is great for organization and being able to finally manage the barracks, and not just manuals and the barracks itself, but now a sort of second reserve barracks. You can name it: swords, axe, lances. This is great. This is an amazing change, and I'm so glad I was able to diamond hands my orb usage and not upgrade my barracks at all. Of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the how I manage my barracks video, and you'll see how that mentality paid off. And here we are with reserve barracks. This is the best change by far of the upcoming update. I don't even know what else could be coming, but this is really good, and I'm so glad we have it, so I can finally organize my barracks and never cap out ever again. Oh yeah, obviously number 1 was FEH, and that pretty much concludes the FEH channel. Impression, reaction, analysis. It's a pretty short and sweet one because it's only 11 minutes, but there is some solid good changes here. A lot of stuff we did expect. I think a lot of people didn't expect Sigurd. I honestly did. They broke the male-female pattern thing, but they always break patterns, so, like, you know, again, not a real big surprise. I already predicted him back in the calendar video that I did. So yeah, I'm excited about this. The next video you guys will see will probably be either my replays or Sigurd's analysis and comparison to the other legendaries in the game. Okay guys, thank you for watching, signing out, much love, give the video a thumbs up, so if you haven't already, that always helps me. See you in the next one. Peace.
It's over.